Previously, finding wide remote footage and all is a hectic job. Now, some people are just uploading on Telegram or YouTube. So I could download few. We'll work on them. If someone asks about copyright issue, we can't say anything. For practice, we can make it as mention it. It's for educational purpose. So many red marks. Yes. Yes, sir. Full data. 1 TB. Yes, sir. Which folder? This one. This one. There. That's in the music folder. Document. Here we come. Music. After the class, I'll copy into the Teams. Mission is not on there. Okay. Uh, Create a new session. Click OK. Yeah. So I'm changing the color mode to RGB. Okay. Then you connect a paint node to it. Select this guy. Go with the paint. Okay. So paint history has come here and the paint options are fine. So you can see a lot of options here. Mm, okay. So here also it is overlapped. Okay. Fine. I'll go with color node here. Okay. If I'm selecting the color node, you see the whole interface changed. Now, like I said previously, the black and white is nothing but you paint black and white to that region. Nothing else we can do with that. Now, this color node and then drag node and clone node, these three, like I said. Now, all three are useful for us, but it depends upon the purpose and the situation or the kind of footage you're using. So, we are going from the basic part. So, first thing is the color. Now, using this color node, I can erase the logo there, the Samsung logo. I want to erase it. Okay. In Photoshop, we have the clone stamp tool, right? Hold Alt and click a sample, and then we start painting it. Similar way here. Okay. But it is little easy. So first of all, I'll save it. Okay. Okay. Then I'll go with paint, double click. Okay. Now you see the cursor is changed. Okay. Then you can use right square and left square bracket to increase and decrease the diameter. Middle mouse button to pan the footage. This is fine. Now you need to take the sample of the color, right? We should have, suppose if I'm painting the same color over here, I need to have a sample of it. Now the main problem in the concept of painting is, can you find the variations in the color there or the tint? Is it same tint or its variations are there? This region to this region, there is change in the shade. Okay. I can't take a sample from here and paint it here. The major problem means like the major task for us is whether you are using paint or drag or clone or any other high-end techniques you are using, you cannot take somewhere random sample from somewhere else and then put it here. It should be surrounding to it and it should match to the nearby pattern. Okay. So for that, I need to paint same thing over here. How do you take a sample? I'm just right clicking, right mouse button. Okay. The moment I click some right mouse button, you see the options over here. It's changing. Okay. So this is simple. Just right click, take the sample and then start painting with the left mouse button. So I can just take a sample from this guy here, right click here and then start painting. If I just do this becomes simple na, for us. For a person who is watching a thing, he might not identify, but for us, we can see the patch, right? Okay. While we are using color node, you can use eraser because I don't want to do undo. Make a habit of removing it. Undo is not by Control Z. We have eraser techniques. So I can use eraser and then start painting it. This we can do. Now the problem for us is if you are not using any of these properties and randomly start painting, you will get unusual data and which is being displayed onto a bigger screen. That will be a problem. Okay. So the first thing over here is size of the what's the diameter of the brush. We can change it. Opacity we are not supposed to change until unless you are doing layer by layer painting. Means I painted roughly first, then second layer I'll paint it with less opacity. Multiple times you'll paint. Okay, only then we'll be using, but softness. This is where the problem is. Take the color node. The edges are not fully blurred out. That is where you get to see that pattern. And I'm just taking the same sample over there. Whatever the sample I've taken at the starting, the same sample I'm painting. That's the reason you are able to see that modification. Means like patches are given there. Instead, what I can do is, first of all, work on the softness, increase to 100. Okay. Then you can work on your diameter of the brush. We can't select the whole thing and finish it off. In Photoshop, it is easy, right? Just select it and drag and drop to other place. It does the work for us. Okay. This is to understand the tools. But when we go for sequence painting, these techniques will be useful there. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a sample here in front of yes. I'm pressing right mouse button. I'll paint this way. Again, I've taken a sample at the A, again at M. Multiple samples will give you a proper output to us. Kind of boring topic, but a required thing because in Insta I'm getting to see so many openings are there. BG prep, BG paint, rotomation. Okay, this way. I'm not taking sample, means erasing from the other side. Only to this corner I modified. Now you see, can you see the patches there like previously? Very negligible because I've taken multiple samples there and then I am able to do the thing. See, right now I'm taking from the top this way. This way. If it is in Photoshop, every time you need to click Alt to take multiple samples. Here you are just clicking right click button. And if you observe one thing, the background is a even if it is a gradient tint, it's a single color, right? It's not textured. So this becomes easy for us. When you talk about color tool, it is mostly useful for the footages where you have the background plain color, plain tint, irrespective of its gradientness or anything. This is useful for us. See that. If you want to look at the before and after, 1, 2, 1, 2. And the way of checking whether the paint is done properly or not, you check it in all the channels. Correct. I'm looking at red channel now, green channel, blue. Do you find any variation there? That means we have done perfectly. In each and every channel, you are not able to see any variations in that color. Conditions applied. This tool is applicable only when you have some gradient single tone, not a textured footage. Suppose there are multiple footages in this particular example itself. Yeah. If I look into this, or in the first, here itself is the keychain. You have this keychain. Okay. So I'll increase the brush diameter here. I'm right clicking over this region, means like this part here, right click. Can you see? It cannot understand the texture. It can only pick some color and start painting it. So it is not useful every time. This is one. Then you have some tool called drag. Multiple circles are there. Okay. So if I select this guy, what this guy does is, how many of you have used a dodge tool in Photoshop? Blur or dodge? Have idea what are those tools for? Or what? When you drag it, it's going to, or smudge tool. No, haven't used. Smudge tool to make it that unnaturalness in the flow of the color, we do it. This is similar to your smudge tool. It is going to take sample from here and it starts fading, it starts creating fade out. So if I just select this guy over here, I'm not taking any sample there. I didn't pick any sample. Okay, straight away, I'm using the brush tool. You can work on the diameter and I'm painting from all the sides. I'm not painting like this. If I paint like this, then it is a problem. Okay. Now, the advantage of using drag tool. Right now, I have done some modifications which I don't want them. I don't need to go to eraser tool or I don't want to go to control Z. I'm using right mouse button. When you are working with color tool, right mouse button tool works for picking the color. When you are working with a drag tool, it is going to behave as a undo tool, eraser. Okay. So I'm not even taking sample, but I'm just dragging the color from all the sides. Make sure, suppose if right now I'm painting like this shouldn't happen. Okay. Right click, right click. Yeah. So here I can just decrease the diameter of the brush and then start painting. Whenever you have some footage with simple icon, a small icon is there. We say, what is a marker removal. They'll be using this plus marks. Okay. So to remove that plus mark on green screen, they'll be using the plus marks. Green screen, you can remove with keying tools. But that plus mark would be in yellow color or red color or white color. That cannot be removed. So that particular times we can use these techniques to remove them. Always check with this. Okay. You can experiment all things can be removed. Logo is removed, this thing and all. Suppose if I want to use for the logo also, it's like stroking from all the sides. It does the task for us. Okay. Now coming here, this is where you can understand what it actually is doing. This is not required for us. But whenever you have some colors to modify, in the front part, it was perfect example because it is blending. It's not just painting the color; it is also blending. Okay, so that would be useful for us. Whenever you have an idea of working using color tool, instead you can try with drag tool. Okay. Now drag tool, I'll say another example. So this is about color and drag tool. Then we have our master clone tool. This guy, two symbols, clone tool. The shortcut is C. This is a kind of Brahmastra. Any kind of footage you need. There's no that kind, this kind, anything you have. The only thing is the time consumption will differ from footage to footage. Okay. Suppose I'll start from here itself, or we'll start with this key. This key. Okay. I have to erase that key. I'm increasing the diameter of the brush. You have shortcuts, something called shift and control. Okay. Shift is to change the what is a source and destination, reference and the destination thing. So if I'm holding shift and drag this left mouse button, you are getting two circles. One, right now it is moving along with that. You can see the green color light. One is little, I'll put it here. Yeah, two green colors are there. Okay. If I'm holding shift and dragging, the left hand side is the source from where you are going to copy the information. Right hand side is the location where you are going to paint. Okay, this way I can do it. Now using this technique, I can erase any content. If I just start from here, what are the techniques we have to use is shift is a shortcut. Anytime you want to activate or you have done some modifications for the brush, everything and all, you can come over here. This is the clone tools, everything. We hardly change them when you're working with individual images and all. We'll talk about these tools when we have example with sequence painting. Okay, coming classes I'll bring for tracking things and all. There we'll try to understand what is the need of all these things. For now, we are just trying to use on a still image. And you have the same properties here. Okay. And this part, I haven't touched anything here. But whenever you are working on a still image, whether you use color node or drag node or clone node, you don't need to change anything. But you need to make sure that this RGB is on, the normal is on, all other things you can leave it to default. But when we talk about something called sequence painting, we'll be using something alpha also. Because whatever I paint, it has to be converted into alpha channel so that I can tweak them. I can increase and decrease the intensity of it. Okay. So that should be activated when you work on the sequence thing. So here you cannot work everything at this level. No. When you're working on paint, it's like zoom in, full textured mode. You should be able to see the pattern and then work it. Okay. So here I'm just going with um, now taking the sample for this also. If I use sample from this side, it will not match this side. No? So I cannot take one sample. I'm holding shift and then drag like this. I cannot paint fully. See this? The distance between the two plus mark, the offset between the two plus marks is always going to take sample from that location. Now, initially I've taken the sample, the left circle, the bottom circle is the sample and I'm painting here. Till here it is fine. The moment I move it up, the keychain sample is coming into the scene, right? So we should be careful how you do it. And you need to take multiple samples. You cannot rely on one particular thing. But suppose if I'm trying to paint like this, this is possible. One stroke. Because when I'm moving it, parallelly it is taking sample from that location. It is not taking sample from here. Okay. Now see this region, this way. Many times what happens when you are working on some textured background, I say pattern. Okay, these are the patterns. Now you get to see similar kind of patterns there. When I copy paste something, it's kind of repeating the same pattern at different location. That particular time your workload will be little extra. Means once the pattern is erased, I have to rework on it. Means again taking multiple copies of samples and then working on it. Okay, we have footages. We'll look into them. So similar way, I'll go from this side. Now every time you want to take a sample, you need to hold shift and click. Now previous sample, whatever I've taken, it is reset now. Now it is just a brush. You can just zoom in now. Again, I'll go with shift and drag. If it is not such, means like if the situation is not where you can drag it, you just click. Multiple clicks also does the task for us. Okay. Okay. Now here I can click shift and then shift click. Till this is there, it is enough for us. We can easily do it. Outside part, we can easily do it. Now see, the sample is taken from here because the back one more key part is there. So it is taken from there. I'll just undo there. Come from this side, hold shift. See, when the moment I move, the back circle is covering the key part. Okay. So again, hold shift and increase the location. You see, it is taking this circle here and painting it. Now, when you have this kind of information, this is going to be a problematic for us. And I want it in a straight line. If I just erase this way, it does this way. So I'll undo it, hold shift and click, zoom to bigger thing and just reduce the diameter of the brush. Okay. I'm holding shift, take the sample straight to that particular background, the line of that thing, and then you start painting. Okay. So here what I can paint of this is you can't paint this to over here, right? So I have to take sample from little away. Now here I am not able to get the information from this region. All the key part is there. So here I can just move little away. For this region, I can take samples from somewhere here. So hold shift and drag, control to increase the diameter of the brush, zoom in. Now for this footage, it is suitable because the background is textured. If the textured is not matching, then we have to overlap again. Okay. Just see if the means distance is okay for us. So again, I'll hold shift and I'll take little extra space here. This will get it back. Okay, something like this. This will take samples from this side. Now for now, I'll target this region, whichever is gone here. So I'll go with shift, undo, reduce the diameter of the brush. Okay, I don't want inside part. Only means like I want to take only inside thing. Okay. This outside I don't need. Only the inside region. Whenever we get that, again I can go with multiple samples there. Hold shift. Now here softness is 100, so I can reduce it. See the difference? Is not matching. Softness, if I reduce, it is not matching for me. So again, increase to some 60, 70. I'll go with single stroke. I'll not drag at this particular instances. This way. Okay. Vacuum tablet does the task for us here. Oh, this part is not removed. Let's. So here I can just go with this region, Shift Alt. Here I can take sample from here. This region I can take. When we look at the alpha channel now, we will find the difference now. because a lot of patterns variation is there. Yeah. Now, if I just see, or you can just check with 1, 2. Wherever that is matching is not happening, we can rework on that region. Okay. This is using the clone stamp tool. If I look at to some other, yeah, this one, if you see, I just click on reset, fully textured. Okay. For trial, if we do the color here, okay, color, I'll take this 70. I'll delete these guys. Mm. Now see here, when you delete it, it is asking for rebuild. Till now, whatever I've done, it has deleted the paint strokes and it is giving us the original footage. Okay. So if I just come over here, this one, eh, paint only I've selected, right? Okay. No, this is not working. Suppose if I go with grade, where is that software? Yeah. Okay. Paint, select this color node, save it. Mm, okay. Mm. It's going to paint it, but it's of no use for us. Okay. So I'll undo. If we go with a drag, up to certain level, this is okay for us. If I just undo, increase the softness. But the problem in this is it is recreating that pattern. Whatever pattern is copied, it is going to recreate. So this also will not be helpful for us. But there are situations where this is useful for us. I'll just undo these all things. Yeah. There's some footage. I can use drag tool here. If I'm painting this, it is like blurring out that, right? Okay, so what I can do here is we have other technique of using this drag tool, kind of taking a sample. So if I hold Alt and then click a sample, then move your cursor here and paint. Hold Alt, click with your mouse button, drag it. This gives little extra thing, but again, it depends upon the footage which we use. Softness automatically it is coming to 100. Let me just delete this guy. If I try to remove this guy using that clone stamp tool, hold shift and drag. In all directions. I'll place my cursor here if I'm taking sample from there, then place it over here. I can reduce. I can take sample from this side. Take the sample from this corner, little far away area. So from one direction, not possible. You need to take from multiple directions the data we have. This way. Seeing this, we feel roto is easy. Even any production unit, how much ever care they take, at least 10 to 20 frames they have to work literally on every frame. It depends on the concept there. The overall background concept is simple. You need to analyze the picture, understand the pattern, and then start painting it. There is no other what is a mechanism or something creative part over here. Only thing is how which all the tools will be useful at that particular instance. We can use them and work on this way. Yeah, the pattern should not the line shouldn't bend into all this. So the sample from here, it is not the right choice for me. So I have to take somewhere from here. You can remove the unwanted parts, everything, whichever using clone stamp. Now this is on still image. But if I have to work on image sequence, okay. So I'll try to show roughly today. Then we'll work on different footages from next class. Okay. Now here, rather than painting, pre-painting work is more for us because you need to decide which frame is suitable for us. Suppose in this particular footage, if I just scroll it, this is the first frame, that is sixth frame. If I scroll after 49th frame, it is over. There's no data about that. Means my target is this green logo. Okay. So you need to check in which frame it is visible clearly to us in terms of colors, everything and all, shades, shadows, all this part. Okay. Suppose somewhere here, 42nd or 44th, somewhere here it is visible from. Clearly, the logo is visible. Now, this frame is going to be the base frame where you erase it by either color tool or drag tool or clone tool, whichever is suitable for us at that particular instance, and then work on it. Here, you see that K and shadow means like K2 shadow of the side mirror is there. Okay. Suppose if I just go with this clone tool, okay, I'm taking it. Softness, let me increase to 100%. Mm, You don't ask me why it happens. There's no reason for that. Mm, Okay. So I'll come somewhere here, take the paint node. I'm taking the clone tool over here. Okay, Control S, A3. Fisher, you delete afterwards all this. Okay. Few changes what we need to make uh, when this is the clone tool which we have seen previously, but we didn't change anything. But right now this is a image sequence. Whenever we talk about image sequence, the first step what you need to do is you need to switch on the alpha channel. Okay. Because we need not just RGB but also the alpha channel where it has to be painted. We can use it for further color correction in any other applications part. Then Transform none. Okay. Anytime you want to delete certain things, you can delete only for that particular frame, not the previous works. So you can do delete option from here. You can change the reset all the properties of your brush controls, everything. This is there. Then the next thing what you modify is here the what's say it's blurriness, automatic blurriness. These are the presets they use. Regularly they use is Catmull ROM, this thing. Then start working on the color mark. Now here I need to take a sample, so hold shift and drag the cursor. Okay. Now this region is black, means white region, so I'll hold control to reduce the brush. Okay. I'll take from here shift. I can erase this part this way. Top region is done for me. But I cannot use this way, right? Vertical line I cannot do because already K part is there. So it is going to copy the same thing to me. So I can take sample. See, this gap sample is there. So I can select those regions this way. Again, change the offset. Now I can take sample from the bottom here. Now this I can take sample from here itself. Okay. Now I can take sample from this side to remove the center region. So the moment the offset changes, it is going to take sample from there. You need to take multiple samples to get rid of these regions. Zoom in, reduce the diameter. Yeah. Okay. This way. Now from bottom I can take. Just check the location where key is not there. You can always keep 1, 2 in the loop. Okay. K I have removed. Because it is totally in the white region, I removed it. Now if you see the two, outside this region it is fine. I can just remove it easily. The moment it comes over here, the shading part. Okay. One technique you have is I can do this way. I'm exactly placing my cursor straight to that line. Okay. Matching to that line and then multiple clicks. See, now if I move this, the two part which is hidden, it will come. So make sure it doesn't touch that way. Same thing I can do from the other side. Hold shift and select this thing this way. Now this outer region I can easily remove it. Undo, reduce the diameter. Okay, you just see K is here, so I can take sample from here. Hold shift and then drag this way. Now from center, I can take a sample to erase this region. Reduce the opacity, means offset between the 2 points. Then you can make your first. I'll take sample from here, the center. Just check. Okay, I can take sample from here. Now here the background is white, so no tension. If it is textured, then you need to do multiple selections over there again. Okay, so I can take sample from here and then work on it. Okay, I can take sample from here. Now during this time, you need to be careful. Hold all, shift and then this one, maintaining that. Now here it has gone this way. Shift. This is one way. Let me try if it other technique works here. Using the drag tool, Alt click. It's not working. I'll check it. Some settings to be modified. Otherwise, it will give the location. 2 points it will give. It will blur from there to here. This is actually for the edges. This is good, but somehow some settings to be modified. Now assume right now I'm just erasing the whole region here by using the drag tool itself, a regular drag tool, because the background is almost white. So I'm just trying to. So here the technique what I want to show is whenever we are trying to work with sequence painting, what we actually do. That I'll, for one frame using this, everything is fine. don't neglect these topics. At least a couple of works or somewhere in your footage, if you have these contents, it is good. Here I'll go with the clone tool again. Yes. I've created something like this. This is you created a what is a empty frame in the software itself. Now this much time to invest on this is ridiculous because if I have the footage in images, I can take that in one image which I consider to be the base. I can take it to Photoshop. You have excellent cleaning tools. Can be done. Okay. That mechanism is little different. Well, coming classes will learn it. But here I have created one frame I cleaned up. This as a reference, I need to work with other frames. Now, when I come to the next frame here, okay, I need to use, this is fine. Okay, select the clone. Yeah, I've selected the clone tool. Now, here we are in 47th frame. I erase the data. Okay. Now I am going to 48th frame. Now in 48th frame, I don't want to spend the same time what I've done previously. Okay. So what you can do here is you see the properties over here. Mm, relative, this one. Okay. Relative is on and we are at 48th frame and it is also showing 48th frame. If I reduce this to 47, that means I am using the reference of 47th frame in 48th. Okay. Now to look at it, how it works. I switched on something called caps lock. You have two references, two images there. Okay. That is nothing but it is showing 47th and 48th frame. Now what we are supposed to do? Here you can use your arrow marks. I took the line of the door line and I tried to align it. Now it is not that confusing, right? I have two reference image, 47th frame and 48th frame. When you are looking at both of them, there is a disturbance, right? There is a movement in the car, so that is what it is showing. So what I tried, 48th frame, which is going to be my reference, I moved it and aligned to match the door line. Any one location, you can match it. Now, once I match it, you see the difference here, the shadow part. Still, it is not matched. Okay, door, it has come out fine. But if you still modify that, we have to do a lot of changes here. Okay, today I'm not going to take that part. Like I said, these all things. Okay, but I aligned it. Now, only when I press caps lock, I will be able to see that. This is one way. The shortcut is caps lock. You can switch on that. Otherwise, you have these options. See, these are something called onion skin overlay. The same thing. Okay, this will look in different example where you have overexposed the color information. We can use this. This is the main thing. The same shortcut is for caps lock. You have something called horizontal and vertical alignment. All it depends upon. See, right now when I switch on this guy, it is not matching, right? It's not matching all the whole part. Okay, but fine for me now. This is fine. Assume the correction is done. I'm just increasing the diameter of the brush. Which am I looking at? Output. Yeah. You need to switch on the output. I'm not worried about where the sample is coming from because I have already created one blank. From there, it is copying. So the frame where you are considering to be the blank should be perfectly. Now, see, this is not perfect for me. See that line, the gaps, everything. Okay. Now, if I just go to another frame, we are in 49th frame. Here you see only once you will modify it. First frame when you are changing, you will modify it. And then now you see it has changed to 48. If I switch on caps lock on off, okay, this if I on, now it has to still match. You see here, these lines, I aligned it, caps lock off. So instead of painting manually for every frame, you will work on one particular frame. Again, that depends. If I say that you have some 30 frames and you work for one frame, no, it's not that way. If there is a camera movement, if I'm considering left side movement, one set of tasks, 5 frames, 10 frames, or 1 frame, 2 frame, whatever it is. Right side movement might be different angle. Maybe it is moving up and down. For any camera modulation or camera movement variation, you will create clean plates first. First thing is now it is just like understanding the tools what we have to use paint to remove something. That's the task today. Now what we actually have to do instead of me sitting and clean plate, I'll do it. Like I said, I'll not sit and do in silhouette. Rather, I'll take it to Photoshop and then do it. So here the tree node structure will differ now. Right now it is original footage and then you have a paint node. Next thing what happens is you have the original footage, you have the paint and then you have the clean plate. So I'll merge them. That is where the node structure keeps changing now. Hereafter, the node tree structure will not be linear, it will be multiple tracks. Okay. So just experiment with the paint. I'm not trying to complete on single day because this is every time I'll not sit and practice regularly. And previous semester I used to use older version. So similar to you guys, I also keep practicing. When the subject is being taught, and I don't want to teach the old style what has happened in the last Here is the same thing here. So I'll update to the latest thing and then modify it. So I'm taking little extra time, but I'll try to complete with proper detailed information. Okay. Yeah. So clone, color, and drag. These tools and eraser is common thing. We can use it. Okay. For tomorrow, I want to 1 second here. Morning, sir. Is it- okay, okay. Hmm. Okay, okay, fine. Yes, no. Yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah. Mm, mm. Yes, sir. Yeah. Things is like I have issue with my login ID. That's why I couldn't forward the details to you. Within couple of days, I'll get the thing done. I'll update you with that. But other than that, like I said, there were some season sweets. I kept it in fridge. Okay. Okay. Then I'll keep it with me in the afternoon. Yeah, fine. Okay. Sure, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Mm. Okay. Mm. Yes, sir. Sure. Okay. Thanks. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Like you guys say to your faculty, my guide. Mm. Okay. So, my planning is tomorrow we'll continue this, not to break the continuity with sequence. Like I said, how you create it in Photoshop and bring it here and then do it. Along with that, the last week continuation of equalizer. Tomorrow we'll do the two tasks. Maybe we'll take half an hour, 45 minutes break, then we'll continue. Okay, so tomorrow come prepared, like full till 12:30 sometime, 9 to 12:30 sometime. Okay, yeah. But seriously, work on this. Keep in your showreel will little weightage kind of thing. Okay, yeah. Labor work, but still. Now this task is not for. No, these guys are working for. What do you say? John, or still project. Now the 6 members who are filled, those people are hired. By when I can expect all others to fill?